All right. The international lineup has been released, kind of. We're still waiting for confirmation on this first one, but the Los Angeles Chargers have said they will be playing Friday, September 5th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is the game that was the Packers-Eagles last year, that Friday night game. Chargers will be one of them. There are rumors that it could be the Chiefs being the other. TBD on exactly who it is hasn't been officially released.
That would be sick.
That would be. Apparently, the report was they didn't protect this game from being the Chiefs because this is the Chargers' home game. So they didn't protect it, which would mean like you protect it if you want. Game. Yes, you protect it if you want your home game to be in your stadium, so you sell out tickets. Obvious problem with the Chargers is, though, sometimes when you don't protect those games, when you do get the Chiefs coming to your stadium, well, it's more Chiefs fans than Chargers fans. So maybe that's why they didn't protect this one. The next one, Dublin, we have the September 28th, a few weeks into the season. What is that? Week 4 then. Vikings, Steelers. The next week, Vikings stay across the pond. London game against the Cleveland Browns. First time that's ever happened. We'll discuss this after this. Broncos, Jets, October 12th in London. Rams, Jags, October 19th in London, the Jags annual trip over there. Falcons, Colts, November 9th in Berlin, Germany game. Commanders, Dolphins, your final one of the season, November 16th. That one's in Madrid. That's in Spain.
I'm Googling the Olympic Stadium in Berlin because I'm like, I just know it's cool. And it's literally just like a classic looking stadium from the outside.
Is it just one of those full circles? Is it just...
Yeah, full circle with the canopy over the top. And then it's got a giant like 8-lane blue track around it. So it literally looks like a stadium that the Olympics could take place in, which makes sense why it's called the Olympia Stadion Berlin. First and foremost, to go back to the Chargers Sao Paulo game for Friday, September 5th. Don't forget that the Chargers were in San Diego not too long ago, and that's the closest team to Central America and South America. So you get that entire contingency of football fans who are trying to latch on to something close to them. I would imagine that there's some Chargers fans in Brazil, which is why it makes sense to have a division game down there. But the antidote to that is that Patrick Mahomes is revered worldwide, like Michael Jordan was. So, for the Chargers, maybe they would hope it would be like the Broncos or something. But if Patrick shows up, there's going to be as many Patrick Mahomes jerseys as there are Chargers jerseys in the stadium. The 2-week trip for the Minnesota Vikings to Dublin and London, that's not the United Kingdom, right? It's, thank you, baby. My wife just brought me a coffee and a great baked treat from The Seed. If you've never been to The Seed in South Florida, fantastic. Bring your checkbook, though, because that place is expensive. So back to the Vikings trip. When I took a trip to Europe and played, it sucked, not because where we went sucked. London was beautiful. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was state-of-the-art. The people were class. Bosh. I love going to London. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine I might even love going to Dublin, Ireland even more because my people are Irish. Well, at least the people that came before me. I love the 2-week stay because you don't feel like you're up against it travel-wise. They're going to take care of you on the way out. You're going to fly in a massive bird across the pond. You're going to have the best seats imaginable. You and I already know the Vikings are at the top of the list in terms of taking care of their players, taking care of their staff, players' families. I imagine it's going to be a family affair. I like this. The 2-week stay out there, 2 different locations within a short trip from one another. You get 2 weeks. You don't have to think about, it's going to suck flying out. We're going to play and bang, we got to go back to the States. No, you settle in, you play another game. A week from the Dublin game, so it's Sunday to Sunday, and I think it works well. And those 3 teams, Steelers, Browns, Vikings, those are 3 teams that I could see totally being well received by the folks in Europe.
Yeah, I honestly, if you're the Vikings, obviously, like some people won't want to stay a full week in a different country, but you have now a competitive advantage in that second game, in my opinion. You've been there a week. You're acclimated. You've been there 2 weeks. Your body's acclimated. Obviously, you played the week prior, but like Cleveland Browns come there not having had that. So you're going to be in, not in your own bed, not on the road, whatever. But I think it's a little bit of a competitive advantage for them. And then I think you're going to be bookended. They're going to have a bye after it. So it's not that big a deal coming back.
And it's 9:30 Eastern time. Wow. Crazy. So that's what? 4 o'clock game?
Something
3
like
o'clock? Something like that?
I don't know what it is.
I don't do the translation.
We just know geography. We don't know.
I just know that
What would they be called?
Ireland and England, they have been beefing.
5-hour time difference.
They've been beefing.
2:30.
For quite some time. Yeah.
2 different countries, Ireland and the UK.
100% 2 different countries and 100% get over here.
They've had problems in the past. We'll just say that. Let's power rank, though. Actually, before we get to power ranks, these matchups, I had one question. I saw this on X earlier, and I was curious because you've obviously played international games. Do you get taxed in the foreign countries? Do they take money on top of what you pay in taxes in the U.S.? Can you tax your account?
That's a very good question. Keep talking. I'm going to find out the answer to it right now.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself. I'm calling a friend, phoning a friend.
All right, phone a friend. I will get to the power rankings for these matchups. So I'm going to act as if, because there have been reports out there, we just can't confirm them, that it is Chiefs-Chargers. That is that Friday night game, which obviously would be an
when we play in Europe,
power rank.
do we get taxed in Europe or do we get taxed in our – how does that work? You're on the pod. You're on the pod, by the way. I just put you on speaker right after I told you were on the pod. So tell Mike hello and then explain.
What up, Mike? Yeah, so yes, just like Kyle, and you can speak to how your paychecks were taxed in various states, right? Whenever you play road games. Yes, you do get taxed overseas. And so the London game is probably the cheapest anyone plays all season.
Okay, there you have it. Thank you, JJ. I'll holler at you later, man. The best. You get to call an insider, the lead insider for CBS. And of course he knows. A Carolina man, he understands finance.
So it's a tax abatement for these people because it's lower, is what he's saying.
Yeah, it's great. We should play all the games in Europe.
So Minnesota, if you're in Minnesota, your state income tax, the top bracket is almost 10%. Whew. Don't want to get drafted by the Vikings because 1, you're going to Minnesota, and 2, you get a 10% tax bracket. But
Minnesota's cool, man.
Minnesota's fine. I can't say anything nice about it. From Wisconsin. 10% tax bracket going down to, I guess, whatever the UK is, but he's saying it's less. So maybe Minnesota's going to be like, let's get 8 games out there a year.
So we're paying for Prince Harry's security detail stateside. It's like a whole backdoor taxation. Didn't we fight a war over taxation? I don't think we should pay taxes when we play there, to be honest.
Who says, what are they going to do?
Taxation? Yeah.
I don't think so. We did this already.
Yeah.
It didn't work out well for them. All right. My power rankings. And again, I'm assuming Chargers Chiefs is the week 1 Friday, Sao Paulo. I think that's the best matchup of these. I mean, that is truly a blockbuster. The NFL is hitting all the right notes week 1 so far, if that is the Friday night game. Then Rams Jags is probably the next one I'm looking forward to. I do think the Gladstone revenge game, there's some storylines there. And just the Jags, I'm just curious to see what it looks like. Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence. Very excited with Liam Cohen being able to dial it up. Then Vikings Steelers, Commanders Dolphins, Falcons Colts, Broncos Jets, and then Vikings Browns. But truly, like, for an international slate, any of these teams could make the playoffs. And I don't think a lot of people would bat an eye. Now, the Jets, I think, are a long shot. Dolphins, maybe you could call a long shot to make the playoffs. But this isn't like, your annual Titans-Jags sort of game. There are some real – this is a real slate.
These are some bangers, as the kids would say.
We're going to have to wake up early on a Sunday. Can't be too hungover for these.
I'm going to go power ranking here, and I'm going to say – first off the bat, if it is the Chiefs, it'll be Chargers-Chiefs. I feel like it'll just be an electric Sao Paulo experience. It'll be big-time obrigado down there. in Brazil. And I'm not going in order. I think number 2 for me will be Broncos Jets in London, because that is going to be a trench warfare, World War I style European offensive by both of these groups.
The London game got Robert Saleh ousted last year. That was, and then when these two teams played the week prior, that was when Bo Nix couldn't hold on to the football. That was Bo Nix' slippery hands game. Bo Nix never played in rain game. That was a wild one. So
because it never rains in Autzen Stadium.
Yeah, apparently.
So for the third one, I'm going to be going with Steelers Vikings, because there's so much unknown at the quarterback position with both those two teams. And both teams have their strengths. Both teams have great coaches. But J.J. McCarthy, there's a giant question mark there. What does Natasha Bedingfield say? The rest is still unwritten. Okay, for J.J. McCarthy. Great song, by the way.
I just added it to the wedding playlist.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think when that
Aaron Rodgers Vikings too.
That's it. That's it. There's a lot of storylines there with good rosters. And then I think London, LA, Jacksonville, Sunday, October 19th. The Rams still got it. Matt Stafford still got the juice. Sean McVay is still genius. And Liam Cohen, the new guy in town in Jacksonville, Travis Hunter. It's going to be an absolute fireworks show in London. They're going to, if you don't love football and you watch the Rams and the Jags show up next year, I promise you're going to love offense at the very least. And you're going to like the defensive front, these little guys that get after it for the Rams. And then any game involving a young quarterback. So I think about the Falcons game against the Colts, and I think about the Commanders game against the Dolphins. I love Michael Penix. He throws a great football. The last time that I remember watching him, he was in prime time against Jaden Daniels, and he went toe-to-toe with this dude until the end of the football game in Washington. It was must-see television. If you haven't watched that game, go watch the highlights, man. A lot of great quarterbacking in that game. But, yeah, that's pretty much my power rankings. I'm excited to see what that Friday, September 5th game holds, because that one's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Brazil, they just do it different, man. They do it different. And I would say lock your players up for that weekend, not because it's dangerous, just because, I hear Brazil has got some distractions down. That's all I'm going to say.